Oh,
What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Freight Gong Friday. It's Friday, May 3rd. We got a couple of things.
How is it already May?
I don't know, but May is my favorite month of the year.
Is it?
Yeah, it's always obviously start of the summer, but then
that's the best month in Chicago.
It's the best month in Chicago. My birthday's also this month too, so it's like all the festivities. This year there won't be that much, but it'll be sweet. So everything starts to open up in May. That's like, nice in Chicago.
Has it been it's been pretty nice over there the last couple of days?
Right now it's a little bit of a horror story, but last night was pretty bad too. There was it was downpouring like crazy yesterday. I couldn't even see out my window. So I was actually a little bit worried that it was going to flood the streets, but I don't know. It was.
It wouldn't be a virtual meeting unless we were talking about the weather. So
it would not be by any means.
I'm glad we're
starting off that way.
If you're at all concerned, if the viewers are all concerned about the weather in Scottsdale, Arizona, it's nice, but it's warm. It's gonna be warm.
People probably don't have enough of their own starts to their meetings by talking about the weather, so they have to tune in and listen to us hear about it.
Dude, so I actually I had this idea a while ago. I think I told it to Paul. I think
you told it to me too.
Dude, I don't have the time to do it, but I think somebody needs to do it. Just every morning, send me an email with the nationwide weather and a fun weather fact or something, so that anytime I get on the meeting for a day, during that day, I can have the hot thing to say.
Or that should be I feel like that should actually be a Gmail plugin or a Google Calendar plugin, so that before you look at your calendar event, it's
what's the weather? What's the weather in your meeting participants' locations?
Exactly.
Oh, hey, Christian, I saw it's there's a tornado in Chicago yesterday. What's going on? Are you good? Looks like a nice day over there, man.
Exactly.
I'm sure you'd much rather be outside than on this meeting with me.
Yeah, that guarantees every meeting will definitely start with the Weather Channel. So
I invited Ryan Crawley. We'll see if he comes.
Cool. Yeah, he's here. He's here.
He is. Oh, bring him out of
What's up, Ryan?
What's up, guys?
How we doing?
Good.
Where did we catch you? Are you fishing?
No, I'm just outside. I was doing a little stretching, and I'm like, well, I got 24 minutes, so let's do it.
So you've officially been unemployed for how long now?
Well, officially I've been unemployed for 3 days.
Okay.
But I've been enjoying every second of it. It's been so good.
So how long have you been broker freight?
10 years.
Okay. Was that all for one company?
Yeah, that was all for Nolan.
Wow. So
yeah,
and so you were pretty. When did Nolan start?
I think 20.
Let's see.
Oh man, we got to be 15 or 16 years by now. Maybe 15 years, maybe 14 years.
2005.
So 19 years? Holy smokes.
So, but
Kevin founded NTG in 2005 with a small office, a box of cash, and 2 employees.
Yeah, and out of his trunk.
A box of cash?
And
that's what it says on Google.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it was scrappy. Him and a handful of his buddies, they were working basically out of his trunk. He got done with his Waffle House endeavor with a 2-year non-compete, and then he set out to be a top 5 broker, and he did it.
Wow.
And were you doing freight before that?
No, I was fresh out of Grand Valley, fresh out of college. So I was what was it, 22? And
why did you get into freight? You just need a job, or do you plan on it?
Yeah. Well, I took a job as a recruiter. So I was like a history major and I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a history teacher, baseball coach type. And I was a dummy and I went to like a small private liberal arts school my first year and I racked up like 45 grand in debt. And I'm doing the math and teachers make like 45 grand. This was at least back then. I don't know. Maybe they make more now, but not much more. But I was like, dude, I'm never going to pay this loan off just out of 1 year. And then I did 3 more years at Grand Valley, you know, and I was like 120K in debt and student loans. And I'm like, I'm never going to pay this off being a teacher. So I got to find something else. So for like a couple years during college, I did door-to-door sales. I did AT&T Uverse. I slung some cable, home phone, and internet. And I'm like, I think I can sell. So I got into a recruiter job that I accepted. And 3 days before that job, I got a message on LinkedIn from a recruiter at NTG. And I'm like, you know, why not? I'll give it a shot. So I ended up walking into our office. And at the time, it was this just dingy, musty, old, you know, typical freight broker office that was like, I think the day I came in, there was like a leak in the building, like in the bathroom, it was leaking. And from the ceiling, I'm like, man, what am I walking into? But the guy that recruited me.
Ryan, were you there? Were you a senior vice president? Like I'm looking at your LinkedIn right now. Like, were you a senior vice president the entire time, or did you just kind of keep updating the same field in LinkedIn?
Man, we like ran out of titles after like my 3rd year there.
Okay.
And so I've been a senior vice president of sales since like 2017.
Okay.
And I've never had a title switch.
So I think I actually didn't know that there was a layoff at Nolan, and I don't know if I happened to miss that or what, but I have now seen there was actually a couple more companies. I think yesterday, I think KCH happened to lay off people as well, from what I saw, at least from one person's post on LinkedIn. I don't know to what extent those layoffs were, but have you guys seen any other companies that kind of haven't been reported so far?
I don't know. I wasn't laid off. So I know there was a little bit of a misconception around that, you know, just because the environment's been so brutal. I mean, companies have been getting, you know, laying people off. I think what's been for like 18 months.
Ryan walked out the fucking doors, baby. He said sayonara. He's like, I'm done my time here, man. I'm gonna go fish.
Well, it was definitely like a mutual thing. Like, you know, I had built, you know, I had a particular book of business that really boomed over, you know, the COVID years. And it was like, you know, for like my first 6 years at the company, you know, I crushed it. You know, I crushed it, I guess, respectively speaking. And then when COVID hit, because like my book was all automotive, cruise line, and like aerospace. So it was kind of like that hot expedite type sector. And then when COVID hit, you couldn't have found 3 industries that like, you couldn't have found 3 worse industries. Like my book was red and the casino hit black. And so those three verticals shut down. I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? And then, you know, I landed a couple, you know, whales over the COVID, you know, period. And, you know, for the next following 2.5 years, we just proceeded to do some crazy numbers. And so that was like just this climb of the mountain. You get to the top. And then for the past, you know, this freight recession really kind of took a toll on my personal book. So
how big of whales are we talking about?
How what?
How big of whales are we talking about here?
Like the biggest.
Nice.
Ryan's being humble. You were like one of the top reps at Nolan, right?
Yeah.
We
did. So like in 2021, we did 190 million. In my book of business, did 190 million in revenue. We did 29 million in margin. And
so you know what's interesting though about this, and why I kept bugging you to come on here, Ryan, is very rarely do any of the people on the freight podcast circuit ever get to actually interview like very good sales reps. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's always the fucking like talking heads on these things. Yeah. And rarely and for good reason, right? Like most good sales reps aren't going to come on a podcast and like talk about all their fucking customers or like how big their book of business is. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And so now that you're kind of in a different phase, just trading stocks and shit posting, like I figured I figured it was a good idea. This is a rare opportunity.
Yeah.
So,
it seems like you also have like a side business as well called Quick Tech. Like, is that something you're still running?
Yeah, we still run it, and we don't put a whole lot of time and effort into it, to be completely honest. It's like we started Quick Plow, which is like Uber for snow removal. Okay. Basically somebody puts in a request, and if there's a provider within a 15-mile radius of that request, he'll get pinged, and if he wants to take the job, he takes it. But we've been my business partner Steve McIsaac and I started that in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just kind of been a fun little side venture. It's not, we did this winter was non-existent. So like we had probably one event, over the winter that like produced some money. But other than that, it was kind of a shit winter everywhere else. But it's been fun just to kind of have a little something on the side to hustle around.
So what's next?
Don't know. I really don't. People, there's been a lot of people like, so where are you going? What brokerage you going to? I'm like, dude, I really don't think I'm ever going to be a broker again. I mean, it's hard to get out of the freight industry, right? It's like they call it the black hole. Like once you get in, you don't go out. And I mean, maybe some, if there's any tech companies looking for good sales reps, maybe I'll sling some tech. I don't know, but I don't know if freight's the answer. Yeah.
You're gonna probably, I imagine, enjoy yourself this summer doing a bunch of stuff, hanging with the fam, doing whatever.
Yeah. I've got 3 kids. They're all turning. So it's 6, 3 or 6, 4 and 2. So this is like prime time, live it up, enjoy every moment. And I'm going to definitely be doing that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Samantha Jones says you're trapped. There's no escape.
Yeah. Sam, you're right. I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
That's the.
I love trading. I love. You know what? Like, send me all the shit coins, and I'll read the charts, and we'll see what we can do with them. I love trading. Maybe we'll just trade.
I loved your tweet yesterday about C.H. Robinson. Like you're like pumping up the freight economy or whatever. Like.
Yeah, I sacrificed $800 on puts, just thinking that they would go another 8% lower, and they turned around and did like a 12% day. So. That was for everyone. That was for everyone in the sector.
What got you into trading and like the stocks and stuff like that,
dude? I mean, like cryptocurrency back in 2015 when I was an idiot, and I let go of like 50 Bitcoin or whatever, some shit that I had at the time. Like, I don't know. Crypto got me into trading and charts, and then when I realized that crypto is like way too fucked up to do it consistently, and stocks and equities are a little more, and commodities are like definitely a little more playable, I would say. But crypto got me into it, and then once I started kind of learning more about the broader economy, and freight is a perfect industry to learn about many different sectors, and so I got really interested in probably like 2019, 2020, I started trading a little more, and everyone did over COVID. Like if you say you weren't looking at AMC and GME and the meme stocks, like when they were doing some crazy shit,
everyone,
you were in a hole. Yeah.
Ryan, what's your Twitter, by the way?
It's, what is it? RC's Offshore. Can I get off this with doing it? I don't know.
RC's.
Oh no, it's Gen Infinity, GENINPHINITY. And I don't know where that handle came from, but it's still there. So
all right, I'm trying to pull up that C.H. Robinson tweet right now.
Yeah, I my first tweet was showing the chart, and I'm like, man, it's gonna go touch this trend line, which was like another 8% lower, and it didn't do it. And I posted my puts, and I'm like, this is for shits and gigs, and they got smoked.
Huh.
Yeah.
Ryan's about to become like a trading influencer.
That's actually
your next. I think that's your next move.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a little risky. Yeah, I don't want people throwing big money on my trades and then blaming me for their degenerate decisions.
Yeah, so that actually, while we're on that topic, let's pull up this the CH story actually. So CH beat expectations, which was, in my opinion, it was surprising given that pretty much everybody else is like
Does
tanking.
this prove that brokers make 69% average margins on loads?
Potentially.
Well, dude, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if their expectations, they beat their expectations, or that their expectations were just so fucking low that any positive signs, I don't know. They were also like a top 5 shorted stock.
Really?
So, yeah, something crazy. I don't know the exact stat, but I mean, there was a ton of short interest in CH.
So they forecasted 4.27 billion. Sorry, the forecast was 4.14 billion. Oh no, sorry, the other way around. 4.27 billion was the forecast. 4.4 billion was what they actually got. So they were still down. They had less revenue this year at this time than they did a year ago. So overall, like it was lower, but yeah, I guess they set the expectations correctly, I guess, which was smart of them.
Well, I mean, they've just been. I mean, the whole industry has been. What month are we on now? Like 24, 23. I mean, we've just been getting beat down. Like, speaking of stocks and companies, like if you go look at Forward Air, FWRD, man, I haven't seen many charts that look like Forward that are legit companies that I don't think should be beaten down like they've been beaten down. I think that's gonna.
Oh my god, dude! Since July last year,
they're down 85%.
What's the?
It's FWRD.
Why can't I look it up here? FWRD ticker. All right.
Well,
I don't know. The Crawley analyst rating says buy, but I don't know. I guess I'm not exactly like privy to like, why. I don't understand why they've beat it down so much. Maybe they know something I don't, but like I know with the Omni acquisition, like, maybe from a valuation standpoint, they beat them down because they got, put into a shitty deal. But like Omni has a really solid air network business. And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me that analysts can't understand the moment that things start to bounce, and like, which I think we're probably coming up here within the next several months. If not, we're already kind of bouncing right here. It's like, I don't understand why they beat it down so much. So
there was this chart. I had this exchange with Ken O'Donnell. Let's see here, Ken. Let me pull this up real quick. Adamo.
Oh, is that the DAT guy?
Yeah. So he put so he had this tweet. He's like a lot of different perspectives on like whether this is the worst freight down cycle right now or not since like 07, 08. And long story short, there was this he posted this chart somewhere else, which was kind of like this in interstate motor carrier authorities, total count. And I kind of put this next to the federal funds rate chart as well, which is kind of like two things are working with each other to in my opinion, make this kind of like feel like, if not actually be the worst freight market, which is that like the capacity itself is clearly still well over. And we still got a little bit to return to kind of like what the trend line normal was, which was like a healthy kind of growth rate. But like if you take a look at like the federal interest rate, this impacts like a huge amount of things, like in terms of like whether people can get loans or whether people get extra credit and like start buying things. And so in my opinion, like these two charts were pretty indicative of like, in my opinion, the fact that like this probably is the worst that it is. But then again, somebody else put here like broker authority count, which is actually been kind of stabilized. But now I'm curious like whether or not this is actually going to go kind of like undershoot where the trend line was.
It will, 100% it will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw
the
I mean, the fleets are starting. I mean, I don't know if they're starting to collapse more, but like another big carrier just went bankrupt. Like you have to think that this summer is probably going to be like probably a bloodbath, right? Like it's like we're 2 years into this at this point. Like carriers, I feel like a lot of people thought that more carriers were going to be exiting like sooner, and a lot of them haven't. And I mean, something's got to give it at some point, you know.
A guy just with a wealth of knowledge told me that, one of the factors into this is like repossessing all of this equipment that was purchased at these astronomical rates over 2020 through 2022. It's like, what are they going to do in the repo yard? So like, I guess there's not, from his point of view, he said they're really, and it makes sense to me, not being a smart guy and being a sales guy, but he's like, what's the point, of repossessing all of this equipment that's going to have an astronomical loan still backing it? Like, and carriers aren't going to go out and buy all of this equipment because there's still too much equipment in the marketplace.
Yeah.
So it's like, what motivation is there for these carriers to shut down if they're not being forcefully shut down? And some of them are doing it the right way, but some of them have been bankrupt for over 12 months and somehow they're still operating, and they're like scratching, other companies or friends and family for like, and like there's so many, there's a handful of guys I know right now that are still operating under shark loans. Like they're gonna go under. It's a matter of time, not if, but when. But I gotta imagine the multitude of carriers that are in the same position that are well under their books has to be huge. And so I think we're all just kind of waiting, which is sad, but it's like, when are we going to see that flood? And it's just kind of just been a slow, steady.
So basically, like, I mean, we're talking about the supply side of things. Demand, I feel like demand is not, there's really no signal that demand is going to pick up anytime soon, right? Like interest rates aren't really doing a whole heck of a lot, right? We don't know. I mean, we don't know long-term whether they're going to continue to raise them or cut them or what, right? Like, it's a very kind of uncertain time in that sense. And that's probably why the stocks continue to get crushed. Except for C.H. Robinson, I guess. Maybe just set low expectations. Maybe that's the right thing. Somebody said Aaron Hatfield said top 5 freight stocks to look into. What do you want to shill anybody right now that you're?
Well, I like, dude, Forward's my number one.
Just because it's cheap.
Well, because I believe that they've unjustifiably beat them down so bad. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Forward, I love Forward for a nice bounce. They have earnings, I think, next week, and like I wouldn't be surprised if we see 50% from here and them trading over 30. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it definitely can go lower. I love JB Hunt. JB's trading at like 164 right now. I think they return to like the 190 area over the next couple of months. I think Wall Street in general has beat these guys down, knowing that it'll be a pretty sharp comeback as with any signs of recovery. But that goes back to your point of like the demand side is like, I don't necessarily think we have to see like wicked demand bounce back. I think things are more riding on supply exiting the marketplace than anything, because I don't know. J. Powell says the economy's strong, right? So are we to believe him or not? I don't know.
I don't know if I believed him in 2020 when he said inflation was transitory either. So
yeah, I know.
But he's gonna say what he needs to say. So
yeah,
that's interesting. I feel like it would be cool, Christian, just for our purposes, to find more people. Maybe we should try to track down some like financial types who cover freight. See if we can get any like big brains on here to talk about.
One of your guys. I love Zim too, by the way. One of your guys that you had on when you covered the whole the Red Sea Rebellion debacle. One of those guys is pretty into it.
Jason?
No, who did we have when we did the Red Sea, dude? It's been, my memory is shot.
Sal.
Conrad? No.
We didn't have John on, did we? No, we didn't.
No.
Yeah, Conrad on.
Well, I don't think we had him on Freight Gong though. I mean, I've had him on other stuff, but maybe it was something else.
Yeah. But Finley, Ed Finley. I don't know if that's his anonymous name or what. I think Ed Finley. He's big into the maritime stocks, but he's got some great insight.
I think it would be a good idea because, like, I don't know, at least the way I see it. You guys tell me what you think. But like, even if they weren't in freight necessarily speaking, I mean, it would be even better if they were in freight because they can translate it.
Yeah, right.
In a way that's to be understood. But just in general, like economists, I think would be pretty cool. Like, let us know if you guys would find that valuable. Like, to interview a couple of people like that can actually have like a much more informed opinion about it than we can, because it's very closely tied to then what the freight market will actually see. And I think everything is based on the economic current drive, demand overall, where we're seeing things, how consumers are spending, where the money's going, where the money's flowing, and then the freight kind of follows that path in general.
Ryan's got to go. Thanks for coming on, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
I can't hear you. Okay, all right, see ya. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll do some digging. Maybe every week I keep saying, oh, you know what? Maybe we should actually like try to plan this ahead of time, and then I never do. But I like, I kind of like the spontaneity of it.
It's fun. Like, it's definitely fun. I think like just even when we plan out having somebody on as a guest, it's pretty fun as well.
I also want to try to get guests that like don't like to my earlier point, like don't go on all the damn podcasts. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
there's a lot of podcasts and there's a lot of people going on them, and there's kind of like a revolving door of podcasts to go on. And I want to try to find the people who aren't often doing stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we're in kind of a set. There's not that many guests to choose from in the typical circuit. You know what I mean? So we gotta, not to say that we can't have them, but we gotta get creative here.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to get to try to get some more sales types on here.
Okay. I'm going to try to interpret this on the fly, but I'm going to share my screen here. So Mark Cuban shared this chart yesterday, and he said wages and inflation since COVID-19, and it seems like it's a little bit counterintuitive. At least I didn't exactly expect to see this chart the way it is. So anyway, the way to kind of interpret this here is that as inflation was rising, so were the wages, but now wages have actually outpaced inflation overall. I don't exactly know what this like per se means, why that is the case, but I figured that it would be just cool to kind of show, because he posted it yesterday, and I don't know, let's see what people are saying here. Sick, yeah.
XPO just released their earnings.
Just now?
Oh, I just saw a tweet saying that. $2 billion revenue, up 6% year over year. Is their stock soaring? What's it doing?
I don't know.
Up 10% today? Yeah.
I don't know why they don't show me a chart here. XPO stock price.
Wow.
Yeah, they jumped. XPO jumped. So that's hot off the press. Let's see, 1 month.
Forward Air is going to fire bankruptcy. Adam Spencer, do you want to come on here? Want to come on here and talk? That's a. I feel like we could turn this into like a CNBC type show if we want to.
Call in on the hotline.
Yeah,
Michael Lombard
I don't know what Lombard is doing. It's,
that recording for that.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty sweet.
What
else? So there was a pretty big bankruptcy filing that we covered. Let's see here. We covered this earlier today. So about a nearly 100-year-old trucking company filed for bankruptcy. Arnold Transportation, 92 years old, out of Grand Prairie, Texas, filed for Chapter 7. Said 341 drivers, 402 trucks. One of the largest companies to fall victim for this freight recession. Drivers were laid off without warning. It's unfortunate, and the company owes about $10 to $50 million. Seems like as a whole, Pride Group, which I assume is their parent company, as a whole, owes like $637 million in revenue. Anyway, there's another company, Raven Transport, that also shut down, leading to layoffs of 83 employees. So bloodbath kind of continues. I don't know, maybe it's even going to get worse from here, from what we've seen, but we've obviously seen a lot of closures, bankruptcies, layoffs, but I think potentially maybe even more now. Potentially, like, as earnings reports come out, it's kind of going to be like an adjustment. I'm a trigger for a lot of these companies maybe to justify kind of like doing the layoffs because everything is kind of going down. But overall, let's see here.
Damn. I just got really distracted.
All good.
All right, what are we talking about?
So this week I think we've covered already, but the amount of freight brokerages more or less decreased by about 3,000, from 30,400 to about 27,200. So that's that we were showing in a chart earlier. And then RXO and Schneider also had their earnings reports. And some mixed financial outcomes, downward of nearly 25% for Schneider. And that was kind of that. But C.H. Robinson, just to kind of go over that again, it's this was crazy. So C.H. Robinson has $1 billion in tech spend. Andrew Silver commented that $1 billion in tech spend is absurd. I'm assuming a lot of that. I can't imagine that. I'm very curious as to know like where exactly they're portioning that money, like, because that seems like they have like a very, very big in-house effort of like proprietary tech that they're building. And I know that they have Navisphere, and actually beyond that, I don't know. Do you know what else they have?
No, I don't know really much about them at all.
Okay.
So I can't speak with any knowledge.
That was interesting as well.
Adam Spencer walks back his Forward Air bankruptcy claim. Wow, breaking news.
Breaking news.
I'll buy one this weekend. Yes, Adam, come on.
This is not financial.
Buy a camera. We should turn this into a freight meme stock show. Yeah, I haven't. I know everyone loves Landstar stock. What's Landstar stock doing these days?
Let's see.
Have they released their earnings?
They're up as well in the last 5 days. So I don't know if they released their earnings. Let's see.
Oh,
not sure. Can't tell, but they are up as well.
I always love how like all these. I've had multiple of my friends who are like in the finance world be like talk to me about like Landstar, and I just think it's funny because when you just like Landstar has a reputation amongst freight people, right? And then they have like
a reputation, yes.
Yeah, and then they have this other reputation amongst the financial people, which is very interesting. I think it
totally contradicts the two. Like the two totally contradict themselves 100%. But I do generally think like that the asset light model for Landstar as a business model is is very like
it clearly does something
attractive, I guess you can say. But the whole agent model, like people in freight, have formed certain opinions about Landstar for a reason, which we don't necessarily have to go into, but like it's yeah, I wonder if like Landstar has any internal initiatives to like kind of tackle any of those
I don't know. I mean, do shippers
issues?
at the end of the day, like, do shippers care? Like, do the people like actually giving their freight to Landstar? Clearly, like, if they're performing and their numbers are good, like they're getting freight.
Yeah.
Like drivers continue and agents continue to sign up. Like owner ops continue to sign up. I've heard from owner ops that work there that they like it. Like
That's good.
yeah. So I mean, maybe they're just maybe all the people who don't matter are the ones who talk shit about them.
Maybe so. Honestly.
Yeah. So
that may very much be a reason.
Yeah. I don't. Well, we shall see. It'd be what else do we have?
There was this let's see, this manufacturing chart here. Which states get the most of their GDP from manufacturing? It's only 10% of the U.S. economy, but a much higher share of state economics in the Great Lakes. So let's see here, 25%. So most of Indiana's GDP comes from manufacturing. I think obviously in the Midwest it's very heavily concentrated, as we probably would expect. But I didn't know. I guess Louisiana. I wouldn't think that they had a lot of manufacturing presence, or at least a big emphasis on their GDP, big portion of their GDP, I should say.
They have a lot of. There's actually a decent amount of stuff. There's a lot of like paper and a lot of packaging in Louisiana. I know that.
And pharma. Like before even I read this here, like one of the things that I remember when I was working at Audubon, one of the things that I remember very, very vividly was going into Indiana a couple times, and just how many pharmaceutical distribution facilities there were in Indiana. It was pretty insane, and actually a lot of them are also like very almost like secretive in a way, where there's no labels whatsoever on the facilities. Like if you pull up there, you have no idea that it's a Eli Lilly facility or if it's a Pfizer facility. And I think that's probably like for security reasons, but
yeah,
I do remember there was a ton for sure. So, this is a pretty cool shout out too. But like Truck Parking Club, shout out Evan Shelley from Truck Parking Club. They announced they added 292 new parking spaces around the U.S. So they're growing pretty fast. And if you ever need truck parking, check them out.
Shout out Truck Parking Club.
Shout out. So they're growing pretty fast. And honestly, we love what they're doing. Really big fan of Evan as well. So give them a look if you're in need. See what else. There's a $350 million insurance payout for the Baltimore Bridge as well.
Following Maryland to the state.
See here. Of course, this is
good old paywall.
Yeah, nice. Have you found? By the way, have you ever found any proxy that works for any of these paywalls to like get around them?
No, I've never even tried, honestly.
I really wish that there was like some, I don't know, maybe even like a Chrome plugin, like where I'll pay for a subscription so that it somehow pays for these paywalls, so that I actually have all of them. Because I just hate having a Wall Street Journal account, a whatever, another account, like all these accounts. I forget what my passwords are. Like, it's super annoying. But let's see here. Chubb, funny name. Insurer of the collapsed Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, preparing to make a $350 million to Maryland. Okay, so to the state of Maryland.
Yeah, that's that bridge. I wonder. I haven't seen news about it lately. I don't know. Have they like dug a channel? Like, are they able to move ships in and out of there? I'm gonna pull up marine traffic right now.
Try to see if you can find something for it, because I'm curious as to whether or not that's
Let's take a look.
In the meantime, while you pull that up, there is a strike in the Canadian rail that might impact freight moving from Vancouver to Chicago. So the cooling off period ends on May 22nd, but it could impact. So it hasn't happened yet, but let's pull this up real quick. So Ryan Peterson reported this. So the Canadian railroad workers voted to strike yesterday. This would affect a huge amount of U.S. freight that arrives at Canadian ports, Vancouver and Prince Rupert, and moved by rail down to Chicago and other Midwest inland depots. So 3 cooling off period. Overall, hopefully this doesn't affect you too much, but yeah, that's kind of this one was funny. This freight meme of the day. So says, "Hey team, here's a problem. Just occurred. There's a guy walking away from the truck with the luggage, suitcase, and pillow. It says one of the drivers just left. I don't know what happened. Seems like they didn't share something. First driver is still good to do the load. He can do the load straight through. He is driving like a machine. Let me know if we're still good for it."
That is classic. That's very very applicable.
Yeah.
Dude, pull this up. I laughed so hard. At this. Or wait, do I gotta share my screen?
Yeah, you can share the screen.
All right, one sec. Hold on. Hold. Tab. Post. This POD. This guy, where the driver must have been, butt ass naked and took a picture and was exposing himself on the picture of the POD. Uploaded via text locate apparently. So
really?
Shout out text locate. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I just thought that I laughed so hard. Can you imagine just getting that POD and you're just like, oh man, like what?
And you can't even read it, like.
Yeah, it's uploading paperwork is one of the more frustrating things in this industry. Like having drivers like take pictures of it like so many times it just looks like a potato took the damn picture.
You know what I haven't seen yet, which would I think definitely help solve this issue of like all the blurry images, where you can. This is more of a technical thing, but you can essentially record a video. Like, for example, you could record a video of like kind of scanning like the document up close, and then from the video, like all the individual frames from the video, you could stitch them together into like make a little bit more of a high fidelity type of an image. But I haven't seen any app. I haven't seen anybody do this because it requires a little bit more like technical.
What for POD for paperwork in this industry?
Yeah. For in this industry, you just sent like in the group chat like the other day, which was also a good laugh. Where was this? You sent one also that was just like, hold on. Here's the POD box, and you can basically it's like a 320 by 200 pixel image. It's like crazy.
I know, dude. It's but that's just I guess it's just kind of how it is. I don't know. It's just kind of.
I feel like that. Yeah.
The scanner app actually does work pretty well.
Okay.
Like the Scanner Pro app, but like not a lot of drivers that when I was doing it used it. I mean, a bunch did. Not to say that there weren't ones that did, but like the Scanner app actually does work pretty well. Nice. And it actually makes it look like more of like an actual scan versus just a picture of the document. So shout out Scanner Pro.
Scanner Pro. If you use it, let us know.
I'm pretty sure that's the name of the app. I mean, it's very popular. Like they definitely.
So the thing about at least from what I've seen, and I might not have seen them all, definitely, but the thing about those scanner apps is that you have to align it, and it just takes a single photo. From my understanding, it takes a single photo. You have to you kind of have to like structure within the frame, and then all it really does is it kind of just like straightens out the paperwork so that it makes it look like it's a perfectly taken picture. But that I'm not sure if that actually like handles the blurriness of the photo. But anyway, let's see.
We got 10 minutes left. So what's a good thing to end on?
I don't know if we want to end on destruction, but there was this crazy tornado that I'm sure everybody saw.
Last week, or was that last week already?
The 29th, man. It was this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it seems like
those pictures were crazy in like Oklahoma and stuff. Yeah. That's wild.
This is crazy, man. Like this is.
We can't. I don't know if you're sharing your screen, but we can't see it. If you are.
Oh, whoops.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, is the whole thing just a giant claim? I mean, it's got to be. Like, is everything in there? Everything in there is like pretty much likely to be claimed by insurance. I'm assuming, even if. Yeah, that's wild.
I wonder how much value is in a Dollar Tree store. Like probably. What do you think? Like less than $100 million worth of.
I honestly have I wouldn't even begin to guess. I have no idea, but I can't imagine that it's. I mean, it looks like a gigantic facility, so
it's huge. Yeah, I wonder if there was actually a mention about the amount of. Let's see here. Yeah, this is insane. Like literally, the tornado just like blew through the center of the building, and this is a crazy photo. Like that just
tornadoes are like I feel like you don't want to mess with tornadoes. I don't. The videos they have been a couple of videos of like the actual tornadoes that are just I don't know how you even those people who drive near them, like you're crazy. Like it just seems to be reckless.
So David Max is asking, can you please help us? Where is the best to find produce loads this month? Well,
good question.
Good question. I do believe we had we had something around highest value exports. This is the closest that I can get you at the moment that I know personally. Total value of exports. No, this isn't going to answer your question, but I think didn't Carrie have something about this? The produce season or something like this?
I mean, produce season it normally starts like south and then it kind of like moves up. I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen very many people talking about it this year, so I don't know if it's just muted or what, but maybe next week we can have somebody knowledgeable on the matter come in.
Yeah.
But it's
sorry we couldn't help you.
I mean, normally about this time is when Florida flips and everyone wants to go there and there's flowers and melons and all the fruit and all the stuff growing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
cool. Anything else is there to cover? I think we're getting up on time here, like you said.
Yeah. I gotta stop yawning. No, I don't know, but nothing that I know of.
Cool.
Has there been any good
if there's by the way, if there's anybody who thinks there's like a good guest that doesn't really appear on many podcasts or not like live shows or whatever in the podcast sphere as Reed calls it, and you think we should they'd be interesting to talk to, particularly have like a good take on kind of where the freight market is right now, maybe something that is a controversial take, even let us know in the comments or reach out to us. But we're going to be we're gonna try to look for somebody to have on next week as well, who can kind of weigh in on a lot of these topics that neither Reed or I maybe are qualified entirely to give deep comments, deep expert like comments on. So, but cool. I think we'll wrap it up for this week. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds fine.
All right,
I'm gonna make some food.
Let's do that.
Your volume has not been working on the ring the last couple weeks.
No.
Click it. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I don't know why we can't hear the volume. I don't know why we can't hear the. It's very faint in the background.
Okay,
I mean, it's whatever. It is what it is. But I had somebody ask me what that centaur, that like centaur picture that is up there. I had somebody ask me what that was yesterday. Shout out Carlos Fernandez of Echo.
Shout out Carlos.
Yeah, shout out Carlos.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Right.
We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Peace.